prescription last time, in your right eye you were -175, and that was back when we tested you back in October 2019.
Yeah.
Now, I know you came in having noticed some changes in your eyes. Can you tell me describe what you've noticed?
Like on the whiteboards of lessons, I was finding it harder to see like the distance and being able to read the board, so I was having to ask my teachers like enlarge the board so I could read it properly.
I see.
So I wasn't managing to read it.
And did that happen quite slowly? Like how quickly did you notice that problem?
Really once I got back to school after lockdown, because in lockdown I was just using my computer, so I hadn't noticed it much, and then as I went back I suddenly like sort of noticed it.
That you couldn't see
I
the
couldn't
board as
see
well?
So much.
I see. So the current glasses that you're wearing, the ones that we did back in 2019, your right eye has changed by about what we call 1 diopter, okay? So it was -175, it's now -275. Your astigmatism has stayed really stable at about -2. Your left eye hasn't changed nearly as much. It's the right one that's had the big shift, if you like. Now what we'll do about that, ideally if you're keen to try to reduce how quickly it's changing, then we will have a look at you on a machine called the MYAH. And I'll give you a leaflet in advance of that, which just gives you a little bit of information about what the MYAH does and how it works. And it's really simple to have it done. It doesn't, come up too close to you or anything. And so we can take that measurement at our specialist clinic appointment, and then just gather a bit more information about the kind of treatment options that we've got. So what we're planning on doing today is talking a little bit more about the options that we've got to potentially manage that for you, as well as hoping to take some measurements of the length of your eyeball, what we call your axial length, because that really tells us about how your eye's changing shape as you're becoming more short-sighted. So up until now, we really haven't had a way that we could measure that part, that we could understand what was actually happening to the eyeball growth. But now we have this really clever machine that can actually very accurately measure it for us, because that allows us to understand what's actually happening within the back of the eye and how it's growing. And what we can then do is monitor how it grows over time to just see how you're changing and how things are developing as time goes by. And then whatever intervention we choose in terms of potentially trying to help slow that growth, we can also monitor what happens to the intervention over time to understand if we're getting the results we want to get in terms of modifying how much and how rapidly your eyeball is growing. So first thing I want to do is measure your eye with the MYAH. Okay, so this is the machine that's going to tell us how long your eye is. Okay. So it's really easy to do. So I'll get you to take your glasses off and then we'll put you on the machine. So this is the MYAH, and basically it's really super easy to have it done, okay? Can you see that you're looking down all those little concentric rings inside there?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is keep staring right down the centre into the little sort of circle right in the middle, and then just keep looking right into the centre of that and keep your eyes nice and wide open. Brilliant. One eye is done. I'll just do another bit of data. So really wide open eyes. Brilliant, super. And then we're going to swap and literally do the same thing on your left eye. That's basically us having captured the data that we need about the size and shape of your eye, okay? So I'm just going to transfer it over onto my computer and then we can have a look at it in more detail, okay?
Yeah.
Because you have some astigmatism, we just want to check that you're not developing any problems with the shape of your eyeball, and it's really useful because the MYAH can also tell us if you're developing any signs of a condition called keratoconus, which we just need to screen for to make sure there aren't any signs of any of those sort of issues as well. And it does a little check and tells us whether or not it thinks you're at risk, basically, so we can have a really quick look to make sure that you don't look like you're at risk. And when we have a look at the shape, the size of your eyeball, the axial length part, okay, so what the MYAH's done is given us measurements of basically the front of the eye and the very back of the eye, and on your left eye, the one we're showing on here, it's telling us that the axial length is 26.2 millimetres, okay, so that's the overall length of your left eye as of today. We see that the right eye, very, very slightly longer, 26.35 millimetres. Okay.
So what would be the normal length of an eye?
It depends on the age. So the eyes do grow as you develop and get older. In an ideal world, we want to try to stop it getting beyond 26. Okay. 26 is more or less where you are.
Yeah.
So we're hoping, if we possibly can, to stop it from getting too much longer than that. But the axial length is really quite a good predictor of what the short sight level is going to be. So what we've set today is baselines, Lily, if you like. Okay. So we know exactly where we are today, and then when we start the treatment options, the myopia management options, we can then keep a steady watch on this change, and we'll plot graphs and see how it moves over time. The MYAH can do what you do that in the software, and then we'll just know kind of the rate of change that occurs. And like I said, we're not aiming for zero change, but we're aiming to hopefully reduce it by something like 50 to 60%, which is great. So we'll store all that data. That'll be on your file, and then next time we see you in maybe 6 months' time or so, we'll take another set of measurements and then do those comparisons.